Hello, and welcome to today's discussion. My name is George Haddad. I'm Senior Director of Global Business Development at the Oracle Construction and Engineering Global Business Unit. Today's topic is going to be about the commercial real estate market, the market conditions, market growth, opportunities, what are the drivers of the market, and to have that discussion, I have with me my colleague, Sharif.
Hi. My name is Sharif Alabt. I work for the Industry Strategy team at Oracle Construction and Engineering Global Business Unit.
So, Sharif, one of the things we need to talk about or discuss today is what's going on with the global commercial real estate market. There are a lot of researchers out there, a lot of market data that indicates that this market is going to continue to grow. Double-digit numbers maybe in some cases. Can you share with us some of the market data and industry information about that, please?
Indeed, to your point, actually, looking at the analyst reports, Markets and Markets, for example, they have published a report just last year saying that the facilities management market itself, it will go to the double figure, nearly $50 billion that it was on just last year itself. And that really varies between like services, solutions as well. When you look at other analyst reports, they are saying that from resource capability and capacity as well, there is some, I would say, exit or retirement for those FM professionals who are possessing a lot of skills and the talent.
And the knowledge goes away with them, obviously.
Exactly. That's on one hand.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, when you look at it, there is an entry of a lot of millennials, right, into this industry. And those people, they are actually renowned in the markets with their adaptation to the mobile technologies and the disruptions, et cetera, et cetera. So that really, from another way, it brings about an opportunity of the facilities management market and the disruptions in it as well. And when I look at it from a different perspective, our customers, I would say, our customers, when you know that they have been looking at our solutions and working on it for the past 30 years and continuing. And they said that we need a kind of a platform, single source of truth, where we can continue the business transformation and the data sets from the capital project and down to the operation and maintenance as well. And they really like the solution configurability and how robust it is when it comes to the workflow-driven processes as well, and the integration with the other Oracle ERP systems and backend systems and other applications, if you like, in the IT landscape of an organization.
And I take it that part of this has to do with data continuity. So if you start in the early planning phase into the design and construction, it's logical to extend that data that was created, the massive amount of data that gets created when you're actually either renovating or building something, right, into the operations and maintenance and facilities. There's no data replication, if you would.
I think it's going to be exciting for our viewers today to understand more. What's this Oracle FOM solution? What are we talking about here today?
Well, let's give our viewers just an overview of what it is. Facility Asset Lifecycle Management is what FALM stands for. And it, in a nutshell, it is basically when you look at what the market calls it today, they call it IWMS. Except that at Oracle here, we decided not to use the term IWMS. It is basically IWMS plus a lot more, given all the additional Oracle technology that we have on top of what your traditional IWMS solution is. Whether that's analytics, whether that's the robust cloud deployments that we have, whether that's the deep integration between all of these components, if you would, modules, if you want to call them, across every phase of that life cycle. That's what creates what we call the FALM. And of course, it deals with all the aspects related to the planning phase. So the selection process, the funding process, the cash flowing process to study and analyze and be able to figure out which projects should I invest in, for example, which projects should I renovate, or what, upgrades should I do to my facilities, for example. I need a solution to help you do that portfolio prioritization and selection. That's planning. Then we get into the typical construction phase, which has all your common typical processes, if you would, from contract management to change management to payment applications to the request for information, the bidding processes, the documents. It goes on and on and on. And I'm sure the viewers can relate to that. All the common construction management processes that are needed out there. Whether you're dealing with a small renovation project or you're dealing with a massive capital investment project. And then we get into the operational phase, which we divide into two areas. It's really, when you talk about operations, it's not just the maintenance and facilities, it's also operating the portfolio itself. How do you deal with the entire portfolio of facilities? And how do you manage them? How do you deal with now the lease activities and the lease management and keep track of critical dates and many, many other things? And of course, the typical maintenance management activities that goes as part of the operations, whether it's corrective or preventive, all part of the overall solution.
Yeah, but you know what, George, is the brilliant thing we have done here is the plus we added to the
Correct.
IWMS,
Correct.
right? Is that we embraced the broader Oracle technology
Correct.
into the integrations, the go to cloud, and the absorption of the IoT applications within
Absolutely.
the maintenance management, within even the capital project as well.
That is
and
true.
then we took it forward to the market with a kind of matured solution addresses different specifics, different demographics as well.
That is,
right?
I think that's what sets us apart as well, Sharif. When you look at the Oracle technology and the Oracle IoT cloud as an example, or the Oracle Analytics in the cloud, and with the FALM solution when deployed in the cloud, it's a natural integrated solution now. You don't have to do anything extra. It's already integrated there. So the connection points or the touch points are already there. Makes it easier for the customers to adopt and deploy, faster to deploy. Certainly over time it also has cost benefits. So Sharif, another topic that I'd like to discuss with you.
Yeah, sure.
We've been talking about the real estate global market. And my understanding is that some organizations have challenges other than the technology challenges we talked about and a few other, things. But are companies actually being challenged with some other things related to real estate selections, whatever? Can you elaborate on this from your customer experience?
Yeah, that really rings a bell because the thing is, apart from this traditional property and lease management we're seeing everywhere when we go with our customers, there is a kind of a requirement which really starts from early the process. Is you see a lot of organizations which are really interested to kind of evaluate different prospective properties. Are they good to go with a lease, or is it really about a land acquisition and they start this journey from the beginning, or we're going to go ahead and build a new capital construction project, or it can really go for remodeling for one of those existing, let's say, properties or so. So that's really a compelling challenge.
So I think you're referring to the FALM transaction management capabilities here.
Indeed. That would be great to get our viewers to understand today.
Okay. Well, let me try and give our viewers kind of an overview of what that is. It's all about, as you know, it's all about identifying maybe the potential properties to help make that decision before you decide, should I buy, should I build, should I renovate? Well, first of all, I need to evaluate what's out there. Correct? So I think part of the solution that makes this possible is the ability to compare properties, to put properties next to each other and evaluate them based on the needs and criteria that matters to you as a customer. So for example, if price is your number one driver, or location might be the driver, or the type of facility is the driver, well, you put that as part of your criteria that the system will actually leverage to help you evaluate and identify which property meets your needs and requirements more than the other. And then with some of the capabilities that we have with Oracle technology, it allows you to do side-by-side comparisons, for example, and dynamically identify which property gets the highest score. That's assuming you're going with a build or a buy or a lease assumption. Of course, if the decision at the end of the day is to, we're going to end up buying a piece of land and we're going to start or initiate a new capital project, then the cycle starts all over again. That's part of that entire facility
Yeah.
asset lifecycle.
And this is
That's
the merit
benefit.
of the solution and
Absolutely.
the entire life cycle. So you don't
Absolutely.
have really to go for any third-party application and you start creating a new project and you start from the scratch, having
right, that's right.
everything within the same single source of
You
truth.
said property management. Let me challenge you with another question here that I've been thinking about.
Yeah, certainly.
You know, I've been dealing with some customers who have challenges with accommodating temporary accommodations for their employees. We've heard that. Not every customer has that requirement. However, some do. I'd like you to cover that a little bit and talk a little about that. I know you have firsthand experience with that. As far as how does a solution like ours address the needs of accommodations? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, there is a very interesting story here, George, from the part of the world I'm coming from. We see a lot of organizations, you know, that they have a lot of employees, or they call them a kind of colleagues.
Yeah.
And they need to staff and allocate those employees into, I would say, temporary accommodations, as such you called it, right? So they need to have a lightweight FALM solution interface, let's say a portal, if you like. And this portal allows those employees to get into a request where they can have their accommodation request with
Right.
different entitlements. But the advanced thing we have here is how this portal can actually capture those entitlements and what each of the employee is privileged to.
What do you
right?
mean entitlements? Can you elaborate a little bit for our viewers? What does entitlement mean?
Yeah. When you look at those employees and the organizations as well, they have back-end ERP systems they
Yeah.
are running in the background. And they have, as such, HRMS system or the human resource management systems, right?
Most of them do,
so,
yes.
So for me as an employee, when I log in into my property request, let's say, right? So I need to have a system which is really smart enough to recognize first my identity and what I'm looking for. So for example, am I entitled for a studio apartment, or is it a 1 BHK apartment, or is it like a shared accommodation, right? And what kind of facilities and assets have to be equipped within this property as well.
I see.
When you have the Oracle Fund solution integrated by design with your back-end system, this is where you can get the merits of this resource or employee entitlement.
Interesting. Does it stop there?
No, it actually goes beyond, right? Because when that resource requests the accommodation, it can be an alternative solution is I need my allowance and I need the back-end system actually to understand the workflow kind of where is it going to, right? So how much is released? When is this accommodation request is allocated? When is it actually terminated?
So it sounds like this also ties into the rest of the FALM solution, from space management,
Yeah.
the leasable spaces that are available, which are the units you just described, whether it's a studio unit, a one-bedroom unit, a two-bedroom unit, or even a villa for that matter.
Yeah.
That has to be part of the system.
Of course.
And I take it that the next step would be based on an approval process, and you hinted to that as far as a workflow is concerned. So the system needs to be able to take that simple request that the employee has submitted and takes it and routes it through a proper workflow and approval,
the
I
right
guess,
path.
into the right path,
Yeah.
until it gets approved. What happens after that, my assumption then has to be, well, great, we just approved your accommodation. Now we need to actually sign a lease for you, even if it's a short-term lease. So that's what we call a fully integrated solution. So this ties right into a lease management solution then, that has the lease start date, lease end date, based on exactly what that accommodation request was all about, and the size of the unit, et cetera, and the price and the lease amount. That's great.
Yeah.
That means it's a fully integrated solution.
Exactly.
And I take it that the request to submit that accommodation requires no training whatsoever.
No, it's simple. When you look
That's
at
the whole
it,
idea,
it's-
right?
Yeah, it's a user intuitive interface.
Exactly.
So it just requires you to fill some fields and the data, and you look at it,
Point and
and you
click
know what?
almost.
You just click on it and you say submit.
Yeah.
Then it goes all the way through in the background for those who are processing those requests, and the back end. So it's really simple process. It's like
Makes
very
sense.
self-explanatory
Makes
here.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, Sharif, I think we've covered a whole lot in this, 20, 25 minutes, I think, of this discussion. And this is wonderful. I'm sure our viewers would like to hear more about our solutions, what the whole FALM solution is all about. And, please reach out to us. We're available to help. We're available to discuss this further with you. discuss the specific needs maybe you may have as to how the FALM solution from Oracle can address your needs, whether we're talking about small size implementations, large size implementations. We have experts who can help you and provide advice as well, best practice advice on how you can implement the solution that will satisfy your business needs and requirements.
Yeah, and meanwhile, for those who are getting excited to know more about Oracle FALM, then you can visit our website on oracle.com/FALM.